everybody, what's up? It's me, Patu, and welcome back to another Pokemon Plush Living Dex video, the first one of the year. Now, if you guys don't know, I have been collecting Pokemon plushies for years now, and I have an ultimate goal to get a Pokemon plushie out of every single Pokemon alive. And we still have a whole lot of journey to get through, even though we've hit a pretty good amount of them. But this is where the fun part comes out, because we were able to get not one, not two, not three, but 6 different Pokemon added to our collection. I ended up going to Pokemon Center and actually picking up the cheapest one still in stock that I did not have a Pokemon plushie of. And some of these are awesome because they are also Unova themed. So without further ado, I think we should hop into the first one and show them off. How I think I'm going to do this is go based off of my least favorite and move my way all the way until I have my most favorite. That way you can kind of see a ranking system of some sort, but also again, it is unofficial and I'd love to know your opinions about them. So without further ado, let's show off number 1. Now, a lot of these are unpopular Pokemon, especially this one. I don't think this really has that much of a fan base. I'm sure there's people that love it. However, I have LGM right here, and this LGM plushie is so adorable. It is my least favorite out of the bunch just because I have a few more in here that I prefer a bit more. But it is a nice, simple plushie. I do love LGM ever since I was little watching the anime. So the fact now that I have one of these little guys in my collection, definitely really cool. He never made it whenever I was trying to get a stock of some of them or some other ones. Definitely didn't make it my first round of black and white stock. However, the fact that I finally have him out of my collection, it makes me all warm inside and happy. I do really enjoy LGM. But I do think the coloration on him is really nice. I do like that big old head of his. And he kind of has one hand. I don't know if this is for every single LGM sitting cutie or just this one, but he does have his hand that kind of goes up like this. Kind of like how you would see like that alien salute. I can't do it. I cannot do it with my hand. But I do think the coloration is really nice. I love the way they did this. And I doubt he would really be able to sit very easily. Actually, never mind. His tail kind of keeps him in place. He doesn't hit the floor all the way. But I think for what it is, and the fact that we finally have, actually, I think another LGM plush, because I think the Empress already made a keychain version of him. I think it works for what it is. Next up in my collection that I got to add, it is Heatmor. Goodness, you can tell that my whole brain has these two confused. It has been confused for years now, ever since they both came out. But yes, this one is Heatmor, not Heatran. Heatran is the legendary, but this one is honestly pretty well. I do like the way that they did it for the most part, but it does have a different kind of fur pattern. Like the headpiece is actual kind of like the fuzz and the fabric pattern. Then you get onto the printed fabric of it, and that's what most of the body is, and then back to the actual fabric. And then it has a little bit of felt sewn on. My one thing that I'm kind of like about is you could see how much they stitched on the little felt pieces. Sometimes they're able to hide it pretty well, but this one, it looks like they did not, which it is okay. I do like Heatran, and the fact that we have another Heatran plushie similar to LGM, and honestly similar to most of the plushies that we actually have to show today, I am not mad at all. I am okay with this little guy, and I'm happy to at least add him to my collection, because if he sells out, which I don't even know when he will sell out, it is going to be pretty hard to get this guy, because he is not a very popular Pokemon at all. Another thing that I think is funny is just how much his arms flap around right here. Like, you can just kind of flap him around and you have hours, and I mean hours of fun just throwing him around, having his arms go. But he kind of looks like that. I think it was the anteater meme, which that's probably why they did it, of him kind of like doing this and stopping. So I think that's probably what this is based off of. But you know what? I'll give it points for that. Honestly, if it is truly that meme, I'll give it points. You guys know that I am a big fan of dark types, ghost types, and all the spooky kind of Pokemon. So the fact that I got to add one of my favorite few ghost types to my collection makes me very happy. That being Yamask. This Yamask is so cute. I don't know how many Yamask plushies I really make too often, but the fact that I finally got to add one to my collection makes me so happy. I do need a Galarian Yamask, as well as Cofagrigus and Reuniclus. Goodness, did I just say Reuniclus? I don't even think that's the right name. I think that's a different Unova Pokemon, actually. Maybe they should stop making names of very similar Pokemon. But I do really like the coloration in here. I love the mask design. They did really good at making that kind of from game to this one. It is pretty well rounded. I will take that. There is a little bit of stuffing in there, but not crazy. Like you can kind of push him like this and make his face go through. But if you were to do it right here, it doesn't really squish too much. The eyes on your mask are amazing. I love how well they did the eyes. It is a very simple Pokemon. However, the fact that they were able to make it pretty well makes me happy. I love the black / dark gray on it. And even though it definitely cannot sit, I do think it'd be really cool to hang up somewhere, which maybe whenever Halloween comes around, if I end up doing more decorations this year, I might end up actually just going through and doing that and putting him and just hanging him up with some other ghost type Pokemon around the house. I think that'll work, right? So Yamask is definitely an awesome plushie to have. This Pokemon plushie I've been wanting to get for a while, and I've almost gotten it at several different cons. However, I've always decided against it, usually because they sell it too expensive at the cons. Like, you'll see these Sitting Cuties for $25, $30, $35, and that is just way too expensive for some of the least popular ones that you can honestly still get at Pokemon Center. So I do always say, if you guys are planning to buy any Sitting Cuties, make sure they're still in stock on Pokemon Center, or you can get them cheaper, because if you go to a con, it is probably going to be hefty pricing. But that comes with Bouffalant, and Bouffalant, like I said, I almost got him at different times at different conventions. I believe the one where I got Braviary, it was either Bouffalant or Braviary, and I am glad that I got Braviary because he is sold out right now. However, Bouffalant was not on Pokemon Center, so I finally did it and I grabbed him, and honestly I am pretty happy with this. I love this little Bouffalant. He sits so cutely. He has a little hunchback, but I think that kind of adds some of the flavor to him. I love the personality in him. He has his derpy little smile. He has that big fro, which honestly is such a cool piece to him. Like I said, I do love Bouffalant. Ever since, I believe, Sword and Shield's DLC, I was not paying attention, and when I went to go catch one, I caught him in my one Master Ball that I got from that game. And ever since then, I ended up using him in the DLC, because like I use my Master Ball, I might as well, and he was pretty cool to have. I'll admit it, I did enjoy using Bouffalant, and I do have him in a black and white playthrough that I might be playing through again in the future. But I do enjoy Bouffalant as a Pokemon, honestly, a little bit more than Tauros. I do love Tauros. However, Bouffalant definitely has that flavor that I've been looking for. He's definitely a copy. However, I do believe he is the better copy of the two. Yes, I do love me some brown colorations when it comes to Pokemon. The golden rings are more yellowish felt, and one thing I don't like are the horns are very uneven, which if the horn was like this, I feel like that'd be a lot better. However they sold it, it ended up being misshapen and uneven. It's whatever. It's my Bouffalant. No Bouffalant plushies will ever look like this. They'll look similar for sure. However, none will look exactly like mine as a one-to-one, so I will take it. All in all, Bouffalant is a very underrated Pokemon. However, I do enjoy him, and I'm happy to have an official plushie of him finally. Next up, while I have Pansage, I never ended up getting the other two. And while Pansear is for some reason out of stock, Panpour, my favorite of the three, actually was not. So I ended up grabbing him, and oh my goodness, the coloration on this guy is absolutely beautiful. I love that cyan, light blue, as well as that like light banana / like vanilla kind of coloration that you would see for the yellowish on there. That's the main reason he kind of is my number 2 favorite out of these bunches, but I do also like many other portions of him. I love Panpour out of the 3, of course. He is my favorite. I love the hair combo he has, the little tails. I don't know exactly why. It might just be down to me kind of preferring the water type starters when it comes to Pokemon games rather than any other types. Pansage might be a close second. I don't know. Honestly, Pansage and Pansear are kind of similar when it comes to that. Like, I use Pansear in black and white for, like, barely any time. But I did use him at least a little bit, for sure, whenever I would pick Oshawott in black and white. But for Panpour, he's just kind of always been one of my favorites out of the 3. But I've never used him, so I don't exactly know why. But yeah, down to the ears as well. He is so cute. I love his facial features that he has. And honestly, like I said, out of the bunch, he is my favorite just because of that coloration and his personality that he has. I think Sinnoh Evil is probably the most popular one. So out of the 3, he definitely has a special spot for me. And finally, we have the final, my favorite out of the bunch. It is a very simple one, and honestly, he can't even sit, honestly, at all. He is going to be a very much hang-up Pokemon. However, this Cryogonal, I've wanted him since the beginning. I never ended up grabbing him. I don't even know why, but I love the coloration they did for him. He honestly looks like a shiny snowflake. The fabric that they use is that more metallic, shiny fabric, and then they do have some more of the stow-on pattern or stitch-on pattern, but it is really, really nice the way they did it, and honestly, he might be one of the better sitting cuties that you can see that can't actually sit. I don't know why. Like I said, he is a very flat Pokemon. He isn't the most popular Pokemon. I actually used one and got him to the Elite Four in a black and white playthrough that I did a long time ago. He did get reset for a Zekrom, sadly though. I ended up trading him in for Zekrom, but Cryogonal is still got a special place in my heart just for that. So the fact that I now have him in my collection, if I had gotten him sooner, he definitely would have been out for maybe Christmas or something like that. I know I didn't do a lot of videos during December, but I do think he would have been perfect for that reason. And honestly, he just looks great. As a Pokemon plushie, he looks perfect. He would be such a cute ornament or something like that on a Christmas tree, or like I said, hanging up in the area over here. So that's honestly the main reason why. Like I said, he just has such beautiful colorations, and I am super excited to add him to the collection. And in the future, he will most likely be out, shown somewhere for the special holiday seasons. But yeah, guys, it is the first Living Dex video of the year, and I'm super excited to show it off, not only with Unova, but some Pokemon that probably need some more love. So I would love to know from you guys, what is your favorite out of this bunch? Of course, you could also answer the question of the day too. I would love for you to answer both. But that is going to be it for me, guys. I hope you all had a safe and happy New Year's. I hope you guys enjoyed the big 2026 plush video that I did in the start of the year. Forgot the Squishmallows, but that's okay. Well, you guys already know I have Squishmallows. It's whatever. But yeah, guys, I'm going to hop on out of here. I hope you have a lovely day. Stay safe and have a good one. Peace out.